Greetings, Earthlings, wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers. Welcome back to Wisdom Dropz, your source for daily drops of wisdom and savvy cat astrology. Tanya Lasagna, your host, back again, layering together all the celestial sauce and nodal noodles into something digestible. And today we are discussing it. That is right, folks. It is the Pisces new moon of February 2023, which you should see on the screen. So this new moon is in the sign of Pisces. It's happening at 1 degree, which is technically the second degree of Pisces, which means it is in the very beginning of the sign. As usual, we're going to dive into the meaning of a new moon in general, just briefly, then go into a deeper explanation of what the Pisces new moon in particular means. And then, we're going to talk about some of the significant aspects at play, including what Pisces ruling planets, Jupiter and Neptune, are doing to gain more information about what the new moon might have in store for you. And, what else stands out in the chart, per the usual. Now, with all that said, make sure you like this video. If you have not liked this video already, what is you doing? Hit that like button, smash it. It's a great way to say thank you in exchange for this free 99 video. If you are interested in something that is not free 99, but well worth your investment, if I do say so myself, I do offer professional astrology readings. You can book your own reading looking at your unique birth chart, a snapshot in time of the heavens at the exact moment you took your first breath, provided you know your time of birth, that is. And, ask me whatever questions you want. You can do that at wisdomdropsastrology.com. Book your 1 hour session there. That's wisdom with a Z, drops with a Z, astrology spelled normally. The link for that website is down below. As usual, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. And everybody listening should have hit that like button by now. Thank you. Now, let's jump on into it. So, Pisces new moon. New moon, yes, it does mean new beginnings. Now, the fact that it's in the sign of Pisces, okay, is interesting. Why is it interesting? It's always interesting. Why is this interesting? Because Pisces is a mutable sign, meaning it likes to change things up. It's in constant flux. Pisces is not like always the same thing, it's like not like give me a banana sandwich every day of the week. Pisces scoffs at that. It likes change. The thing about Pisces, though, is that it's water based, so it's very emotional. While Pisces might enjoy the change, or they might enjoy the flow of waters, if you will, the in and out flow of a waterscape, right, like a lake or an ocean or whatever, Pisces might cry about it. And you might be like, oh my God, Pisces, what's wrong? Or they might get really pissed and explode on you. And you'll be like, oh my God, Pisces, what's wrong? And the fact of the matter is, just because Pisces is made to deal with change doesn't mean it's not emotive along the way. So that's something I think we should all take with us for this week. And these 2 weeks, rather, where the moon is waxing, and the next month, because that's when we're going to see, obviously, the other lunation that mirrors this, the full moon, right? Which will be very exciting in the sign of Virgo. I am biased. But with that said, okay, this is an energy cue that whatever happens, let it just flow like that water. Remember, we talked about the shoreline. It changes constantly. So whatever you're going through right now, I think you're going to be feeling a heightened sense of emotion. And it's also going to be like changing. There's going to be some flux in your life, right? Pisces, again, is very mutable, and it's water. So I know all mutable signs are mutable, but if you're going to argue it, I mean, water is a very mutable element in and of itself. Fire can spread, sure. The wind is always going to do whatever the wind wants to do. Earth grows, like plants grow. But Pisces is literally water, okay? So it is the most fluid out of all of them, you could argue. So I think just be prepared for changes. Be prepared for energy, You know, the beginning of the day is not going to feel the same as the end of the day with a Pisces new moon energy. You're going to be changing things up throughout the day for the next couple weeks. You're going to be feeling maybe a little wishy-washy. Maybe you want to lock something in with somebody one moment, and then you know what? It's been 10 minutes. Guess what? I changed my mind because my vibe is just different. And if that happens to you, don't worry. It's just the flow right now, and it's perfectly fine to go with it. Now, let's get a little more specific. I want to tune into the fact that Neptune, and I will talk about OG ruler Jupiter for everybody that just gasped because I started with the modern planetary ruler of Pisces. I know, right? But it's relevant because when you look at the fact that we've been dealing with a Venus transit through the sign of Pisces, and that Venus just conjuncted Neptune, the modern ruling planet of Pisces, that's significant. That's a significant aspect. Why is it significant? Neptune is the modern ruling planet, right? And Venus is super happy, like exalted status in the sign of Pisces. So when you put that whimsical aspect we just had perfected this past week into the picture, when you bring that into this equation, into the artist, palette that is this astrological forecast we're all living in, you want to look at that from this perspective of like, oh yeah, and then there's that in the foreground, right? What is that? What is the Neptune-Venus conjunction that just perfected? Well, let me just say it might be ending soon, y'all. You see Venus at 29 degrees on your screen right now, that pink looking circle with the cross, okay, at the bottom. But just because it's going to be bye-bye doesn't mean the energy is gone. The energy could still be around, and you could be carrying it in throughout this week. The energy of Venus and Neptune conjunct is very sweet. It's very beautiful. It's about, all the things that are sweet and beautiful and sparkly rainbow, sunshine, glittered rainbows on top of a unicorn. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is magic, purely stated, simply stated. And it is also illusion. So do not be surprised if you get caught up in an ideal, if you get caught up in the cotton candy moments, like this idea of a superficial, kind of like whimsical, like, oh yeah, wouldn't that be nice, hair twirl, which is fine. It's good to have those dreams. It's good to have that energy. We need to keep things balanced in what can feel like such a heavy world or a heavy life experience, right? So yeah, no disrespect to the rainbow glittered ponies out there at all whatsoever, but just be careful, crew. I just want you to be careful, because you can get an idea in your head that somebody is one way and then get a rude awakening. They are not that person. They are an entirely other way, and you can be taken advantage of. And Pisces, despite being the oldest sign of the zodiac, it's like the most naive sign of the zodiac. You could argue if it's that or Aries, but with a certain age, there's like this wise status that comes with Pisces. But the other side of that wise energy of Pisces is this complete naivete, where you are like, Pisces, you are a little fish, you are in the middle of the road, and there is a semi truck coming, and you are made for water, honey. So you're like triple screwed right now, So like, really what I'm trying to tell you is be careful, watch out. Don't feel like you have to have your guard up or whatever, but yeah, kind of have your guard up the next couple of weeks. And by that, I don't mean like, have your knife or your sword out in every conversation you have, but just be aware that you can have a little more of like a rose tinted glasses, or like a perspective of like, you want everything to be the way that it should be, but the reality is that it's not, or that it couldn't be, it's not like that it's not a good thing, but it's just not what it seems possibly right now. Because Pisces in general, okay, hear this, astrology nerds, Pisces in general, before you even get to the fact that we have that Neptune Venus aspect I just discussed, Pisces in general is the master of disguises. So you want to be very aware of the fact that whoever you're talking to, they're a chameleon potentially right now. Not like they're necessarily intending on that going into the conversation or exchange you'll have, but it's just what it is. There's a very fluid sort of energy out here meets this idealism. It's just a recipe for tomfoolery, to be frank. And so I do want you to be careful. I also want you to enjoy this sweet, kind energy. So do, embrace people in your life who have been around, who are legitimate, are good people, aren't trying to take advantage of you. Try to spend some time with those folks these couple weeks, and maybe have some literal sweets together. Enjoy the leftover half off Valentine's candy, whatever, you know what I mean? Like make some cupcakes, I don't know, but enjoy yourselves with those people. Now let's get into some of these other aspects that are going on. We do have Jupiter in Aries, okay? So Jupiter is over here in Aries, making a loose square to Mars. A loose sextile to Mars, not too extreme, that really kind of already perfected in its intensity, but it's going to be good for getting it done, feeling like you want to get into spring clean mode, okay? That energy is still around and available. And then, of course, you also have, at the same time, you have this very interesting thing going on with the Pluto Mercury over here. So Mercury is over here at 12 degrees of Aquarius, and that's in a little sextile to the 9 degrees of Aries, Jupiter. So you have a Jupiter sextiling Mercury, which is really quite nice. Mercury and Jupiter are pretty much opposites of the zodiac or whatever. And, it's kind of like Jupiter's, I think about it from a place of philosophy, and Mercury's like, I think about it from a place of detail. And those two things don't always line up. Jupiter's like, I believe, whereas Mercury is like, I critique, at some level. So it is a very, nice aspect when you have those two planets that are normally so inherently contrary in a sort of affinity, in an alignment. You do have that sextile taking place between them. So how you think and how you believe might be just, they're in more flow, they're in more jive, they have more alignment the next couple weeks, I would say, since this is a 3-degree or less aspect that is taking place at the time of the new moon. So speak your truth. Speak Mercury, truth, Jupiter. That's one way. Speak your beliefs, you know what I'm saying? Jupiter. Speak Mercury, beliefs, Jupiter. And that's going to be a good time to do that. It's going to be probably more well received, I would say, in that. And at the flip side, if it's not well received, this square, that red line from the purple Mercury to the kind of maroon looking Uranus at the right side of the screen in Taurus, that could show some severances. It's going to be well received with that Jupiter sextile to those that need to hear it, and those that needed to hear it to get out of your life. That's another thing. That's a liberating moment, because a square is in the third dimension, baby. Like when you have a square in a chart, it manifests in the real life. You know what I'm saying? So Uranus is snip, snip, let him go. Mercury is speaking, so you could speak your truth and be let go or let the other person go. If you are looking to let somebody go in a relationship, to do a breakup, this is a fantastic chart to let somebody go with love. Just to be real with y'all, if it needs to happen, it needs to happen. Take out the cosmic compost and let it return to the earth. That's one way of looking at it. And why do I say that? Another reason I say that, folks, is because you have over here Mars on the right side of the screen, 15 degrees of Gemini, in a trine to that Mercury in the sign of Aquarius. Mercury in Aquarius likes to tell its truth. There are cowardly Mercury in Aquarius people out there. I have known at least one of them. But when Mercury matures in the sign of Aquarius, it is very strong at telling the truth, whatever that truth is, even if it's a bitter truth. And Saturn is at a very mature degree using evolutionary astrology of Aquarius right now, 28 degrees. It's almost done in the sign of Aquarius, okay? So it's a great time to be very mature about your words, very honest. And with that trine, that blue line, that nice smooth aspect to Mars and Gemini, I think you're going to find more reward and a sense of, accomplishment, like I did what I needed to do, then you are going to meet animosity or issue. So it's a really good time to let go what needs to be let go, bring out the cosmic compost and let it return to the earth. Everybody, make sure you like this video. I put time into this for free. And the one simple thing you can do to support my work is hit that like button. You can also share this with a friend. And most awesomely, you can book your own personal reading at my website, wisdomdropsastrology.com. I really put my, soul energy into those readings for folks when they book with me. So if you want to go ahead and do that, you're more than welcome to click the link down below and bring yourself to my readings page and check out, baby. With that said, through next time, until next time, may the stars be with you. Peace.